Setting up single sign-on for your organization is something that is a key feature within GitHub Enterprise. And through this video, I'm going to show you how you can set that up on your own org. So here I'm looking at a test instance that I have. And what I'll do is go into our settings. And from here, simply by clicking on organization security, we'll have a few options to enable higher level security options. The one that we're interested in is obviously enabling SAML. So I'll click on this, and it's going to require us to input 3 different parameters from our identity provider. Now there are several ones that we work with, but basically if your identity provider is SAML 2.0, this will be compatible. Probably the most common IDP that we see today is connection within Okta. So that's what I'll be going through. So if I click on my Okta instance, what we'll need to do is actually create a new application, a new tile for this GitHub org. So if I go into applications, applications again, we'll have to browse through our app catalog. And at this app catalog instance, we'll click on, or we'll search for GitHub. It's going to give us several options. But the one that we're interested in is GitHub Enterprise Cloud Organization, because we're enabling this for a single organization, not our entire enterprise account. So I'll click on this, and from the overview pane, I'll say add. Now at this step, we'll have to add in the organization name. Probably the easiest way to do this is going back into GitHub, copying the organization name from the URL and pasting it in here. If you misspell this or don't do it, the connection is going to break. So we'll say done. Now, at this point, we can start to configure who has access to this. So since this is just a test, I'm going to assign it to myself, but feel free to add groups or any individual that you like. So I'm going to say add or assign, and I'm going to assign to people. And I'm going to assign it to 2 people. And you'll have to be sure that the username is the person's email address. So we'll say done. Now that we've associated people to this tile, I'll go into sign it. And from the sign on tab, Okta does a really good job of listing out the instructions that we need to follow in order to set this up. So from here, we can actually see a dynamic custom setup instruction, which is great because it takes us through the exact same steps that I just mentioned. But what it will give us are those 3 parameters that we need to add into our security tab. So the first one here is sign on URL. So I'm going to copy this and paste it into our sign on URL section. I'm going to repeat those steps for the rest of these options. Great. So now that I've done this, we need to test our SAML configuration before saving it. So it's going to redirect us and go through Okta and verify everything. But once it says that we're valid, I can save my changes. And now we've just enabled SAML and single sign-on for GitHub.